你好, in today's lesson we are going to talk about one of the most common mistakes that almost all of my students would make, which is to say ask in Chinese. Well, in English, maybe you might have different meanings or usage to use ask, but in Chinese, we use different word. Okay, for example, the first thing you think about to say ask in Chinese is 问. 问 means to ask, but to ask a question. For example, I want to say, I asked him a question. 我问他一个问题. 我问他一个问题. I asked him a question. 我问他一个问题. So 问 in Chinese here means to ask, but particularly to ask a question. No other meanings, just this one meaning. 问 to ask questions. Or I could say, she asked a lot of questions. 她问了很多问题. 她问了很多问题. Le is action completion, so you have to use le here because she asked already. So 她问了很多问题. In another case, if you want to ask people for some favor, you ask someone to do something. In this case, you cannot use 问. But most of my students, and it's like 11 out of 10 people would say 问 universally. Like they use 问all over different situations, but it's not correct. So to ask someone for a favor, we could say 请. So I would say, I asked him to teach me Chinese. So I asked him a favor to teach me Chinese. 我请他教我中文. 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 请 originally means please. But if you think about this, if you want someone to help you or you're asking a favor from someone, you will use some word that is very polite, right? So 请 like please. 我请他教我中文. I asked him teach me Chinese. So 请 here means to ask someone a favor politely. So 我请他教我中文. A person 请 another person, and then action, which is a favor you're asking. 我请他教我中文. And there's another word which is 教, could also mean to ask someone for a favor, but this is a little bit different from 请. If you use 请, like the previous example, 我请他教我中文, it's more like you're asking for a big favor and you have to be very polite to the person who gives you a favor, right? So you have to use the polite way with etiquette, so you use 请. But 叫 originally means to call. For example, 我叫 Katrina. I call Katrina. I name Katrina. 我叫 Katrina. That is the original meaning or the first meaning we learned from 叫. But here we could also use ask to ask someone do something. But this one is less polite and it's more casual. It doesn't mean it's impolite. Let's try one example. 我叫我妹妹过来. 我叫我妹妹过来. So 我叫我妹妹. The person I'm asking is my little sister, 我妹妹. 我叫我妹妹. Do I have to be extra polite or very polite to my little sister, younger sister? Not exactly. I could just use the casual one. So I asked my sister to come over. Or I could say 我叫她给我一颗苹果. 我叫她给我一颗苹果. 一颗苹果 is one apple. I asked him, give me one apple. So maybe this person is someone I don't need to be super polite to. So 我叫他给我一颗苹果. But I'm not asking for a big favor again here, so I could just use 叫, not to be extra polite one, alright? So it's more casual, alright? Maybe this person is your friend, is your close one and family, so you could use 叫. Okay, 我叫他给我一颗苹果。Remember, casual doesn't mean impolite. Alright? I use a casual language in Chinese all the time to my friends and to my family, but it definitely doesn't mean impolite. But when you're asking someone for a big favor, or you're talking to your supervisor or someone really, really big, then you have to use some polite sentences or polite terms of Chinese. Alright, I hope you understand how to distinguish or how to use different ask in Chinese. Keep up the good work. Until then, I'll see you next time. 再见。